Hi YouTube, we're here with the J-3 Cub, and the factory wheels were just not doing it for me. So I had to go a little bigger. They're way heavier though. Get a shot of this package over here. It's Dubo makes them. It's called a super light wheel, and they really are pretty light if you look at how much bigger they are. Just to give you some reference point, let's go ahead and weigh the plane. We got the scale set up. It's zeroed off with our little test rig on there. And I'm just going to make sure we're not touching anything and set things down. And then we've got struts, and then the wheels don't fall off. And just take our word for it on this. These things don't weigh anything. So we're like 87 grams for all intents and purposes. Okay, and then these little things, whatever these little things weigh, which is like nothing. Believe me, it's nothing. It won't equate to a whole gram, I can tell you that. So when we pull these off, we're about a gram of change. Granted, this is, it's between 1 gram and 2 grams for the factory wheels. Okay, just as a reference, we're talking about 87 or 88 grams total. Okay, so just remember that, 87 or 88. We're gonna pull this stuff off. We got the wheel, we got the bushing, 2 O-rings on each. That one's assembled. And then this thing. Oh, we got to zero the scale because we don't have the test fixture on there. I work on scales. The scale's not great. So we're at 15 grams. So 15 grams, doing the math, over 80, what is it, 88?
Yeah, roughly.
If we're really being generous with the weight, come and look at this. 15 grams over 88 makes 17% of the overall weight. That's pretty crappy. So if we take 15 plus 88, if we were to put that over the original weight, yeah, 17% over. But I'm gonna do it anyway because it's gonna be awesome. I just hope it flies good. I did notice when I was flying today, right before it tip stalled by violently jacking the rudder to the wrong side, which totally is what happened. I didn't crash for once. We did notice that it was a little bit on the tail heavy side, or it felt like it was, and I could only force that battery forward just a little bit more. So this should help with that, and I may just need to move the battery back to the battery tray, to the tail of the battery tray. I think it's gonna fly fine. It was already floaty. I'm gonna be adding flaps and making this thing heavy anyway. So, real quick, we'll go ahead and pause it, and we'll get our setup assembled. You got that focused?
Yep.
Okay, guys, this is Precision Metals, stock number 497, 0.039 inch music wire, which is a 1 millimeter. And basically that's the same size as your factory landing gear rod. So what I did was I just folded the exact outside shape. Let's show them how we did that. We took this thing and I just folded it down, and that's going to rest into this little holding pocket there next to the screw. And then I'm going to take and run just a drip of CA or something along that leading edge, and then this will hold that whole assembly on to each side. So it might be kind of hard to see when we're done, so I wanted to show you that real quick. That's the same exact size as this, incidentally. It doesn't have to be, it's just the size I picked. And then the size of bushing material that I used, it was this. This is a Metal Shapes R&D brass tube number 8128, and basically this one here is 5/32 or 0.014 inches, and that size fits perfectly as a bushing into these wheels. So that's what I'm going for, is a smooth, play-free motion, and this is how it's going to get assembled. 1 O-ring. I don't know what size they are. I'm sorry, guys. I just had a little kit I was drawing from. The wheel goes on. This was one of the things I wanted in this kit, was a serviceability. I want to be able to take the wheel off. and if I need to. And then these two things are going to slide in together, just like this. And then we're going to put some CA in there. And then the same thing over here. Just make sure they're kind of spinning free before you get that going. And I was actually thinking about putting maybe like 1 drip of CA on those O-rings. But that's pretty much it. That's the whole shebang. I mean, that's the entire design, is just to kind of hold that there. And one other thing I might end up doing is taking one piece of plastic. If I get a very thin, light piece of plastic, to just undo those screws that hold this clamp cover thing in, and then I can just hold it down with that. And the idea is, once you glue these on, it's going to add significantly less than 1 gram, I can tell you that. And then those things are serviceable, and they sure look sharp. So we'll pause it, and you can see it when it's done. Okay guys, we noticed a little problem. When we were doing our design, one thing we were thinking about doing is just doing a bunch of CA in here and just letting this sit in here. Well, that's kind of a pain, because then how do you get it apart? So I came up with this plan that might actually work a little better. This is going to be forced to have a little bit of pressure in it. So as I slide them on, I basically have to force it in. And then it's just a pressure fit. And then the O-rings keep the wheels seated where they need to be seated. So I just wanted to show you that modification, or that change in our plan, our original plan. Oh, that stupid O-ring popped off. So basically what we're doing is we're just pushing hard, and you can see I'm having to like push at it. And now I just need to get things squared back up. Looks like this one kind of made it go cattywampus a little bit. So now my next step is to basically get this thing braced down here so it's centrally located. And then we'll do our drips of CA on just the outside of the bushing to hold those O-rings in place, which will keep our tires from flopping off of there. We'll unpause it here and we'll come back to you in a minute. Okay guys, we ended up bending that, and it didn't work because it wanted to just push them at a weird angle, so we moved the bend to the center, and it worked perfectly. And now it's just like you can't even spin it, which is exactly what we want. That means that it's not going to come off easy. If there's a crash hard enough to slide it off, that's great, sacrificial lamb. It's not going to break the plane as bad. And then we made one little teeny plastic piece. We just found like the quickest piece of plastic we could find, drilled 2 holes, shaped it, heated up a screwdriver, and made a little bend in it. You can show them from the side in here maybe, or from this side, like from over here, so you can see that. You can see how it kind of goes up and over, and that allowed us to put this wire right where we want it. And so real quick, installing tires, there's the method 1, which is no O-ring on the inside, which ironically enough, they spin free. I didn't expect that, and so I actually accommodated for having O-rings. And the O-rings have just a little bit of room. So now if you wanted to, you could do them without any glue. But in my case, which, tell me that doesn't look awesome. Guys, that looks awesome.
It's amazing.
It's so nice. My wife is super excited about it. So what I was going to do is I was going to just slide this back just ever so slightly. I'm going to use non-foam safe CA, and then I'm just going to get in here on the back side and just give it 1 drip. Just 1. That's all it needs. It's just holding it in place. That's really it. And then I'm just going to kick her. You think I was trying to
You need a new spray bottle.
The spray bottle sucks.
It's terrible.
Normally it's like a huge sneeze, like you had a giant cold.
Gross.
Now this side over here, we're going to do the exact same thing. Verify placement with the tire or wheel or combination therein. And then we're going to do 1 drip from the backside. Now why on the backside, Brian? Because that stuff will wick all the way around. And if it gets into the underside, that's fine. But like, I can take these things off right now. So if I needed to do maintenance, I could take all this stuff off. Everything, 100% of it. Nothing's permanent. beyond this maybe bushing, and you could still pull that off if you wanted to. So, hey, that worked pretty good. You can tell when it's done reacting when it stops smelling. That's why I'm always smelling this stuff. It's not like I'm trying to get high or something, people. So, yeah, that's going to work great. Really, really happy with the way that turned out. We're going to have to get a shot from the nose down so I can see what it looks like from the front, hon.
Mm-hmm.
And this one here is the tricky. This one's a little bit scary because you don't want to get it underneath the tire. But this one you actually kind of need to stay. Get a shot from above. Here, go right over the top so they can see the shape. Cool. Okay, I'll do the other side.
Okay.
So that's basically the installation. Now, if you need to pull these off, you'll just basically break the CA off, and they'll slip right off. And if you were worried about wanting to have even more serviceability, like you switch tires based on your applications, then you could just leave the O-rings on there. But I also thought about maybe pinching the brass tubes or putting a screw in the end. It did not work. The screw in the end did not work. There was just way too much pressure, and it just kept wanting to spin. So, oop, I got a little bit of glue past it. Dang it. This side's spinning free still. One thing I've learned about this CA is if you have an inadvertent accident where you get a little bit of CA on something, if you use kicker, a lot of times it'll help. I don't know why or how, but it's almost like it lubricates the surface around it. Okay, so that's that. Now, if you have a sticky wheel like that, you'll want to work it before you use it because you may just be more likely to nose over and then destroy your prop. But here in the next day or so, depending on weather, probably tomorrow, we're supposed to have weather similar to today, then we will put up a video for you guys to see this so you can appreciate how awesome that's going to look.
Do you want to show it from the front?
Yeah,
too.
I do. But let me put the wing and the top on real quick. This is going to look so cool. I'm just hopeful. I'm hopeful that it won't be like so crazy nose heavy. If it is nose heavy, then my first course of action will be to probably just cut this whole extra piece off. That'll save us almost $1,000. Take out the plastic, and then I'll do the chop job on those tires like I did on the Carbon Cub SS. So thanks guys for watching.